Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, we're gonna talk, man. Joey Spencer versus Tim Tszyu. It just went down last night. It was a pretty good card. Nothing fancy. Um, you know, didn't really know a whole lot of the undercard. Some of the undercard was from Australia. They're getting some attention now for being on the card. Smash that like button and subscribe as soon as you guys come in, man, because we're here to talk about these fights, man, for sure, 100%. Um, and yeah, man, so Joey Spencer came in there, as a, underdog, as we all know. He came in there pretty much to lose. I mean, he came in there to win, obviously, but, I didn't see it happening. I didn't see him being able to, withstand the pressure of Tim Tszyu, and it was abundantly clear in round one that he was not able to, take some of those shots that we thought he could take. He was able to take them with lesser fighters. Joey Spencer was able to take those punches from lesser fighters, but now that he's fighting, a former world champion, and definitely a contender still in the mix, and Tim Tszyu, the son of a fighting legend. Um, you know, it goes to show you that, hey, you got to be very well prepared and very well schooled. And I think that this was just a fight that was easy pickings for for a guy like Tim Tszyu. I think his team, seeing holes in Joey Spencer's game. Joey Spencer had been, previously knocked out before, and it fit the mold. It fit what they were trying to do. They were trying to, in some ways rebuild Tim Tszyu from his loss that he had before that. And Tim Tszyu was pretty much coming off of two losses, in a row, damn near. So, you know, when you come in from two losses in a row to fighting a guy, Tim Tszyu, to fighting, two losses in a row to fighting a guy and Joey Spencer. Um, there's a reason why Joey Spencer got picked. And I think that, they were happy. Tim Tszyu was, happy to get the fight. Joey Spencer was happy, to get the fight as well. And both parties was, happy about it, and so, like I said, in round one, it was clear that Joey Spencer was in a different league. Um, when it comes to fighting a guy like Tim Tszyu. I think Tim Tszyu was, you know, I think Joey Spencer was in a lower league than him. I mean, you can equate this to being the equivalent of being in the minor leagues to the big leagues, because Joey Spencer was in the minor leagues when he fought Tim Tszyu last night. I mean, Tim Tszyu was, didn't he really didn't get hit that much last night. We seen in the previous fights before that he had gotten hit and stuff like that. And Tim Tszyu did what he was supposed to do. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in. Let's definitely get these likes up. Tim Tszyu definitely did what he was supposed to do. He definitely came in there. He was supposed to get this knockout, and that's what he did. He finished Joey Spencer within 4 rounds, and the corner threw in the towel in the fourth round, and it was over. It was over, just like that. All the build up to this fight. It was a 10 round schedule for 10 rounds. Um, like I said, it went to the fourth, and that was it. You know, I would love to see, to flip the script real quick. I would love to see, you know, Tim Tszyu fight, either of his two losses. You know, the one coming to Sebastian Fundora, and one coming from Bakham Martelzelli. Excuse me if I'm butchering his name, but both guys, I feel like Tim Tszyu was in the fight with both guys. Sebastian Fundora, that fight, he had a cut on his eye and he could barely see. Tim Tszyu could barely see, and that deterred his vision from that fight. But Sebastian Fundora is still a tall, rangy fighter and still a difficult fighter to go against. You know what I'm saying? So you can't take anything away from him. He's still a very, very, very durable fighter, and he's still a durable fighter. Straight up. Fundora. People say what they want about Fundora. Fundora this, Fundora that, but Fundora goes in there and gets it done. That's all I've seen with him, and that's all I continue to see with him. Is him going out there and getting it done, and time and time again when these people, and reporters and stuff write him off, and but hey, that's the name of the game. Everybody's not going to pick you to win every single time. So you have to know that going into it. And it's good to be an underdog sometimes, for sure. You know, but in this particular fight, Joey Spencer versus Tim Tszyu, Joey Spencer was the underdog. I bet on this fight. I bet that this fight wouldn't go past 8.5 rounds. You can check with Joe Habib. I sent him the receipts on Ringside Reporter. Check this show out tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I sent him the receipts. I put a little bit of bread down on that, for it did not go past 8.5 rounds. And I fell asleep at, on the build up to the fight. I didn't fall asleep on the fight. If I would have been able to stay up late and watch the fight, I wouldn't have fell asleep because I think it was an action packed fight. But I fell asleep before the fight actually came on, and I was done. So I just feel like, if I could have been able to stay up, I could have been able to see me win that bread. But it was all good. Waking up in the morning with some extra paper money in your pocket is always a good sign. You know what I'm saying? So I picked that for it did not go over. I think it was a -130 for it did not go over 8.5 rounds. And I just like that pickup. I think it was a -160 for Tim Tszyu to get the KO. But the 8.5 rounds was only, a round and a half more because it was a 10-round fight. So I felt like the odds were a little bit better for, the 8.5, because I just felt like once Tim Tszyu starts picking Joey Spencer apart, that's when, he was gonna start opening up. And that's exactly what happened. Soon as Joey Spencer started opening up, Tim Tszyu was able to catch him, with a flurry of punches. And Tim Tszyu did not get caught that many times. And Joey Spencer, it wasn't a whole lot of firepower coming back. Fast forward to the fight possibly coming up, you guys, in Tim Tszyu versus Keith One Time Thurman. That's gonna be a really, really good fight, I think. Tim Tszyu, still I feel like in his physical prime. Keith Thurman, some would say out of his physical prime. But I think that these injuries definitely were a setback to Keith Thurman. But I feel like Keith Thurman still, he still can, I think can bang with the best of them, right now. He hasn't had. I mean, yeah, the injuries definitely set you back, but once you get, I think in his last fight he looked pretty good. Obviously, Keith Thurman didn't fight, a top guy, former champion or current champion, but he was able to, win that fight and stuff like that. Damn, Joey Spencer. I feel like I've been watching Joey Spencer for the last 7 to 8 years, bro. And he's only 25 years old. He must have turned pro when he was 18 years old. Had to have. Because I just remember watching him on the PBC undercards, them just blowing this kid up, man, to try to be the next great, Because, I mean, let's just be honest, man. Joey Spencer, you got the name, you got the look, um, and, you're white, so, they're going to push you. I feel like the same with Tim Tszyu. He's got the look, he's got the name, and they want to push him. PBC, and stuff like that, and his management, they want to push him. And I just feel like right now, man, Tim Tszyu can still, he's still in the hunt. He's still in the super welterweight hunt. But you got guys like Jamal Charlo. Ralph Unreal, what's good? It's ice season, baby. On a Sunday. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's ice season. Corey Lee boxing, baby. I had to throw back on the original Corey Lee boxing, man, from years ago, man. I had to throw that joint back on, man. So I had to let you guys know, man. We still here. You know what I mean? We still in the building. But yeah, man, this was a good fight. Like I said, Joy Spencer versus Tim Tszyu was a good fight. But I want to see this Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu. Keith Thurman has been talking a lot. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up Tim Tszyu calling out Keith Thurman. Let me see if I can pull that up and let you guys hear that, so you guys can hear that. Excuse me. I would love to see Tim Tszyu versus Charlo too, man. Jamel Charlo versus Tim Tszyu, that'd be a banger. That'd be yeah. Somebody could definitely go to night on that joint. You know what I mean? I would love to see that fight, man, for sure. 100%. 100%. He said Jamel might need a tune-up first. They all need tune-ups, man. They all need tune-ups, man. The way they fight now. Let's see what we got here. Smash that like button, y'all. I need y'all to smash that like button. He said Jamal is coming back for a tune-up. Yeah, but Jamal's fighting at like 170. You know what I'm saying? Jamel's still saying that he can make 154 and fight at 154 pounds. So that's what's having me feel like I want to see what he can do. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Let's listen to what Tim Tszyu has to say after his knockout win on Joey Spencer, you guys. I'm going to let you guys hear it. If I can get this. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got, y'all.
Tim, congratulations, mate. So happy for you, brother. Rings on seat with Tszyu here. Mate, Loff, your distance was so good. You're on point.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen you that clinical for a long time. I think that made Benny most precise. I've never seen. Is that how it felt? It felt like you didn't miss.
Yeah. Let me try to see where I can get it.
I don't need to pat my own back.
And we will look at those dates. He's got July locked in, so... and I think for all of us, Tim's like family now, so when you see your family get up like that today, it means a lot, I think, for all the Australian public. And we will look at those dates. He's got July locked in, so we'll have a yarn. We've got the July date locked in. We'll have a yarn about whether we go ahead with that. that opponent is.
Possibly Queensland, George.
Love Queensland.
Yeah. Got a good support base up there too.
Yeah, we had the great Tom Taker today, enjoying ringside. Tom Taker, one of the great Australian mayors, Mayor of Gold Coast. He loves having Tszyu there. We love going to the Gold Coast, so there's a good chance that we'll be there in June.
Tszyu, do those, does the front door and background, does avenging those losses behind the very much as appeal to you?
Yeah, sure. But I wouldn't do rehydration. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Tim. The IBF, I mean, how good was that not having to go through that? Because that's a big factor people don't realise. To go there.
So they're saying that, Tszyu was saying that he would not do another rehydration clause because you guys know the IBF does have a 10-pound rehydration clause the next day. You cannot be over 10 pounds in the IBF rankings. So here we go.
Go there again and weigh in again on the day is a big thing.
I woke up this morning, rejuvenated, fresh, feeling like I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And my last one, I woke up and my stomach was sucked in. Felt like I didn't feel myself. It was two completely different people in there.
I try to tell a lot of
I felt
people.
like a zombie on the last one.
Yeah, that's what I really thought that.
The first punch I got hit with, it was game over.
Yeah. It needs to be fixed, that IBF ruling, I think.
You want to see the best, don't you? You want to see the best fighters in the ring on the day. That's what we're doing.
100%.
So he's saying that rehydration clause in that Bacham fight possibly costed him. He's not making excuses from what he's saying, but he's saying that 10-pound rehydration clause, being that, a lot of these fighters, when they weigh in at 154 pounds, they're trying to rehydrate to possibly like 175 or more. 20 pounds is normally the norm for these top tier fighters, especially, the world champion fighters, but with that 10-pound rehydration clause, you can't be a weight bully. You can't do some of the things that you normally do in other fights, especially with the IBF. So I'm not sure if Tszyu will go that IBF route again, just because of that. I don't believe that the WBC has that same clause either. So I think that's just with the IBF.
Yeah, it's mad. So, family affair. It's been buried in our family for such a long time. So, having grandpa there, someone that.
He said his grandpa was there. They're not talking about Keith Thurman.
One more year.
He said one more year at junior middleweight. Then he's going to middleweight. I think Tszyu can make a splash at middleweight right now, man. Middleweight is wide open. Middleweight is wide the fuck open. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that saying that middleweight, this, middleweight, that. Middleweight's wide open.
Tim, would you want to run it back against Buckland Venezuela? Was that a name you never want to hear again?
Yeah, of course. I just said that the rehydration.
Is that the number one name out of them all?
Fundora probably. But look, there's Charlo, there's Thurman, there's Errol Spence.
He said there's Charlo, there's Thurman, there's Earl Spence. So he's trying to get in there with the who's who right now at 154 pounds. He's telling you guys right now that he's trying to definitely get in there with the top guys. And PBC has those guys. So Tszyu has, a plethora of 154-pound fighters he can fight next, if that's what he chooses to. His team might, do another type of, in-between fight like this for the summertime. Possibly they're saying July. I'm not sure if Jamel will be able to be ready by July and fight him. I know Keith Thurman is ready and willing to fight, Tszyu next, possibly. So I'm not sure if they can get that, that Keith Thurman fight next. But that's definitely a fight that's out there. They're already targeting, Tszyu and his camp they've been talking about it in his post-fight press conference that they're targeting the July date. So, the July date is on the table. And that's what Tim Tszyu is looking like. He's gonna be fighting again, in July. I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to get 3 fights this year. Because and they might not be all top tier fighters. They might not be all top tier fighters. Joey Spencer was ranked in the top 65, I believe, in that weight. But it was a good bounce back fight. 2 L's in a row. We knew this was coming. A good fight like this. Well, a step up, not even a step up, a stay busy fight is, should I say? Definitely not a step up. Joey Spencer is definitely not a step up. Step down, if anything, and that's no disrespect to Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer knew he was coming in there as the underdog, and rightfully so. He had never been a world champion, never, was on that top tier stage, and we all know that, we all know that he was. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man, about this fight and who you guys want to see Tim Tszyu fight next. Um, but that's definitely who I would love to see him fight next. I would love to see Tim Tszyu fight, Keith Thurman or Earl Spence or Charlo. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please smash that like button and subscribe. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's Coily Boxing, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, you guys. Peace.